Okay, great. Okay, we'll call the regular council meeting of council Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024 to order at 7 p.m. We'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples of the Treaty 7 territory and the Otipemisiwak Métis Government, District 4. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada whose presence continue to enrich our community. Item 2.1, July 2nd agenda. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay, if not, can I get a motion? Go ahead.
I will make the agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Minutes, June 18th, 2024. Are there any changes to them? If not, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
I move that the minutes of the June 18th, 2024 regular council meeting be accepted as presented.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Delegations, item 4.1, NRED grant strategies update. Norma Lang, our contracted EDO. Come on up.
Sorry. Rookie error.
Thanks, Nicole.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to come and present to council. Some good news. Back in the fall, Nicole and I had the opportunity to collaborate on a grant application through the government of Alberta. We found out from our regional economic development manager for the Alberta government for the Calgary region that this Northern Regional Economic Development Grant opportunity was available. Nicole and I worked on a grant. We fired it off before the deadline in December. Our ask was for $55,000. We found out in the spring, so in March, that we were awarded $41,000. So that's great news. And what we had applied for was to fund a project that we called Crossfields Business Attraction and Retention Strategy. And it relates directly to council's strategic plan and the goals that you've identified in there around business investment and attraction, business retention and expansion, and community economic development. Fast forwarding to now, what we've done is engaged an outside consulting firm called Factor 5, and they're going to be working with us to help advance 4 specific projects as part of our business attraction and retention project, overall project. So in the order that we intend to attack them, first, we're going to work on a placemaking strategy. We're going to get started on that right away and very quickly layer in the land and building inventory. So these 2 projects will be done in tandem over the summer months. So we have a kickoff meeting this week on July 4th. And for the placemaking strategy, we're going to be out and visible in the community. We have 2 dates booked for presence at the farmers market on July 11th and August 1st. And at the farmers market, we will be the first one in July, the July 11th one. We'll be launching a stakeholder engagement that will include a survey, and residents of the community and businesses will have the opportunity to let us know how we're going to have a survey that asks them lots of questions about ways we can move forward with a placemaking strategy. And we're also going to do some specific targeted outreach to the business community through the Chamber of Commerce. And then the results of that will be the development of a placemaking action plan for the downtown and entrance area that will include a few pieces: wayfinding, art, events, and signage recommendations for council's consideration. While we're working on that, we are also going to be working on a land and building inventory. So we've identified the months of July to September to work on this as well. And this will be happening in the background, a little more internally resourced as we reach out. We work on this ourselves and go and develop an up-to-date inventory of land that's available in the Crossfield area, but also land that might be underutilized. So we'll be looking at those two things and engaging provincial departments and external stakeholders regarding the management and development of contaminated lands as well. At the end of that project, we're hoping to have an inventory of available property to promote investment and attraction and contribute to land strategy while concurrent with work on town-owned land as well. It is our intention to present both of these things, if everything goes well, to council on September 17th. And then the third project that we're taking on is the development of a marketing strategy. This is really about developing top of mind regional mind share across the province really and beyond in terms of what Crossfield has to offer. And this item will include in terms of our work on it, we'll be doing community marketing workshops with key partners and including the Crossfield Chamber of Commerce and Community Futures West in our work here. Both of these partners have contributed financially to the project. So when we went to the government and asked for the grant, we identified these two stakeholders, and through letters of commitment, they said that they would contribute to the project. The Crossfield Chamber of Commerce is contributing $5,000 of in-kind support. Community Futures is contributing $500 of cash, along with what works out to be approximately $1,500 of in-kind contribution as well. And this is the part of the project that they are keenly interested in. The results of the marketing project, we will have updated information and digital marketing materials that can be integrated into the town website and used for marketing efforts to promote investment and growth within our residential, commercial, industrial, and institutional tax bases as we work towards growing all of those different tax bases in tandem with each other. And the last project that we hope to tackle next year, and we have until the end of 2025 to get all of this work done on the projects. We hope to include 2 internal investment readiness and lead management workshops and targeted surveys of all land use planning stakeholders who have filed a formal application in the past 5 years. And the intention here is to gather feedback on the planning processes that are used at the town of Crossfield and identify ways to make improvements. So the results will be that we'll deliver an investment readiness assessment as well as an investment readiness action plan that will support the town in enhancing its responsiveness to investment opportunities and inquiries, as well as supporting accelerated investment and balanced growth in the community. So is our intention to continue to keep council updated on the progress of these various components of the project as they reach notable stages of completion, and the resulting information as it's required for council to support your decisions along the way. And do I read the recommendation too? Yeah. Recommendation is that council accept this report for information.
Great, thanks, Norma. Anybody have questions for Norma?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Councillor Gustafson.
Norma, thanks for doing this. Question about the funding. So we've got the grant for 41,000, and then we've engaged Factor 5. So there's obviously a cost with that. What is the cost? Are they taking the whole 41,000 to do this, or is there an extra cost, or what? It was this in our budget, or?
Need to go for that?
Through the chair, I can address that question for you. Yes, the total funding, because this is a grant that requires matching funding from the municipality. So we had to match that grant funding, and there's also an in-kind contribution, which will be utilizing some of our salary costs to offset the in-kind contribution. The funding is already built into our operating budgets and approved by council.
Okay.
So a component of that funding will be used for the Factor 5, but there is some remaining funding that we're hoping to utilize to support the implementation of any outcomes that council wants to action.
So what's the total cost of this project?
The total cost of the project is 82,000 because we have to match the 41,000 of the grant. A component of that will go to Factor 5, and then we'll be sitting at about $8,000 remaining to support any initiatives that council wants to action. So as an example, if there were recommendations out of the placemaker initiative component and council wanted to move forward with a project as it relates to that, then that funding could be used to support that initiative and the implementation of it.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Norma, I have 2 questions. One, and I know what placemaking is, but I think there's a lot of people who may not know what placemaking is. If you could maybe just give us your description of placemaking and what that would look like.
Through the chair, certainly. Thank you for the question, Mayor Harris. Placemaking is probably best described by just painting a picture of what it looks like. We did placemaking in Crossfield when we were working on the downtown project. So all of the greening up and charming up that we did of the downtown area would be an example of placemaking. Examples that you see in other communities. I was just in Radium. They have a big statue that's right in the center of a busy roadway that is a piece of art and the art describes the area that you're in. So it's finding ways to make the community feel drawn to a specific part of your community and help them find their way around it through wayfinding strategies. That's a fancy word for signage, really. But you can be creative with signage as well. It doesn't have to just be a standard sign. When we had that, it's also a way to communicate information in your community. And we used to have a placemaking item in front of the post office. Everyone will remember that train display that had all the community bulletins in it. And we've moved that now to the golf course. But that would be another example of creating a place in a community where people know they can go and get information about current events in the community. We're sort of absent that a little bit in Crossfield right now. People know that they can go to certain places like the entrance. We have the grocery store for information like that. So it's connecting people to a place by showcasing art that inspires people to be in a place. It's about making sure people can find their way around and get information about an area. Those are some of the components.
Great. So if anybody wants to learn about placemaking, a really good TED Talk by Catherine Laughlin. Dr. Catherine Laughlin, she did a bunch of work for the US and Knight Foundation. Not this Knight, but a different Knight Foundation. And she came out with 5 different drivers of placemaking. Now, 2 of them I can remember off the top of my head are, you know, how nice a place looks like, so aesthetics. So that goes back to our council priorities of, you know, beautification. And the second one that I recall is social connection. And what these things do, this is the base really of what placemaking does to get to that economic goal, I guess, or that type of thing. So it's love of place, connections, aesthetics. And the more people love a place, the longer they live here. And the more things happen, like businesses come and stay and develop, and we get
Very
those
well.
types of drivers.
Well said.
There you go. Awesome. Thanks, Norma. And then secondly, around that placemaking, I know that you talked about doing surveys with businesses and residents. What type of placemaking do you want to get out of it?
Well, that's what we want to hear from businesses and residents. So we've heard from some businesses that feel strongly that we need better signage in the community of Crossville. So that's something that we will definitely be looking at. I'm sure that council has also heard some businesses talking about that. This will be an opportunity to give everybody an opportunity to have a voice and do a survey that will go out to businesses through the chambers and also our own internal business license list. We can connect with businesses. We'll be out in the community. We'll advertise on social media and everywhere, every way we normally do and can to market the fact that the survey is live. And we will be collecting people's thoughts on what they would like to see in the downtown and target for. It's, and I've been kind of thinking of it in my own mind as we did the downtown and we're living in it now. Did we miss it? Is there more that we can do and layer into the downtown project that we completed that will make it all of the things that you just talked about, kick it up a notch, residents and businesses participating in the community here in Crossville. And the survey will get launched at the farmers market on July 11th. It'll be available online. It'll be short and easy to fill out. We haven't built it yet, but that's the intention. And it'll be in place for probably 6 weeks. We'll have some time to analyze the results, or we will bring that to council probably around September.
That's great. So moving on to your item 3, marketing strategy. We talk about including the Chamber of Commerce and Community Futures because they're partners. But are we going to reach out to other businesses in town that may not even be a member of the Chamber of Commerce and engaging them?
Yeah, certainly. The Chamber are an important partner in the project, but we are very, and we're lucky to have about 66 businesses in Crossville that are active members of the Chamber. But you're right, that certainly isn't everybody. Everybody in Crossville, businesses or residents, will have to participate as we do the workshop. You just never know who might be interested in that, and we'll certainly market everybody and promote the fact that we're doing the workshop. And we would love to hear from any kind of, as you are aware, a lot of the members of the Crossville Chamber represent the downtown area, the more commercial business base. We struggle to get the interest from the industrial area. And this certainly will require some active work to engage them by phoning and visiting and trying to get them in that project as well. They have a lot of valuable experience that we can draw.
Yeah, I think they do. And I think there's a lot of home-based businesses too that sometimes get left out of the loop, but they're a very strong force in Crossfield as well.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, I'm excited about this project. I think it will do a lot for our business retention and attraction. And getting a little placemaking downtown is always a good thing to attract people to come to our businesses. So thank you, Norma. All right. Everyone has no comments or questions, then can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I motion that the NR-ED grant strategy update be accepted as presented.
All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, Norma. Good work. Okay, Mayor and Council business. I've had 2 mayors caucus. Sorry. Thanks. That's why you're deputy mayor. Yeah. Item 4.2 declaration. Sorry, Nicole.
Good evening, Mayor Harris and Council, and thank you for having me here this evening. I'm here to talk about the Crossfield Community Wellness Day. This will actually be our second one. We did do one last year in September. So on September 8th, the Crossfield Wellness Network, in partnership with FCSS, is planning to host a community event in Crockett Park to foster a sense of community connection, raise mental health awareness, reduce stigma associated with mental health issues, and bring attention to the resources and services available within our community. It is our hope that by promoting overall wellness, we can significantly enhance the quality of life for all residents of Crossfield. The Town of Crossfield FCSS Department is asking Council to declare September 8th, 2024 as Crossfield Community Wellness Day. The overall goal of FCSS is to enhance social well-being, and the mission of the Crossfield Wellness Network is to work collaboratively to create healthy places and social spaces for all residents. Crossfield Community Wellness Day will bring forward the vision for Crossfield residents to live in a healthy, resilient community that supports them to achieve their optimal wellness and enhance their social well-being. So the plans for the celebration will include games, activities for all ages, a barbecue, service organizations, and resources. Funding for the celebration has been budgeted for through the Crossfield Wellness Network's grant funding they received through the Rural Mental Health Project and through the internal FCSS operational budget, as this project would directly align with FCSS. So it's our recommendation that Town Council declare September 8th, 2024 as Crossfield Community Wellness Day.
Great, thank you. Questions for Nicole? Okay, if there's no questions, then I will make a motion that council declares September 8th, 2024 as Crossfield Wellness Day in the town of Crossfield. All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, item 5, council reports. Over the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 mayor's caucus meetings in preparation of our meeting this week with Premier Smith. One today and one last week. I've had a CEO meeting, weekly meeting, went to the Rocky View Pharmacy 120th. That was a great event, good music, good food. Ramona and staff did a great job. Went to the Crossfield Rodeo Volunteer Recognition Night. And that's it for me. Deputy Mayor Knight.
Thanks, Mayor. On June the 19th, we had our monthly Mountain View Regional Water Commission meeting. We've been tracking the drought conditions in our regional area. Happy to say that our resources and snowpack that's out there is above normal average. So I know our Calgary area are struggling with water limitations. We thankfully don't have that situation. I do know that other areas are not as lucky as we are, so it's a lucky thing that we have what we got in our area. So people are able to water the grass. I know some people have asked that question around, but yeah, I think it should be a good remainder of the year for the Water Commission. So
Great, thank you. Councilor Brennan.
I actually have nothing further to report that I know of.
Councilor Fox.
I have nothing further to report.
Councilor Gustafson.
Had our foundation meeting last week. Happy to report that our Abriel place in Airdrie is 100% full. Big Hill Lodge is at 88% and Crossfield is at 95%. We just received word yesterday that our seed funding for our Bragg Creek project was approved, so we got to get things on the go in Bragg Creek, and Bragg Creek residents are getting pretty antsy that the project's taking so long, but at least we got a good start. That's it for me.
That's great. I just saw the Abriel bus at City Hall today.
Pardon me?
I just saw the Abriel bus dropping some seniors off at City Hall today.
Yes, so that was the donation came from Cam Clark and from Airdrie Registries
Nice.
and the Hamilton family there. Well
They're big
needed,
supporters,
because it
yeah.
was pretty hard to use one bus to do double duty from Crossfield and
Yeah.
Airdrie. So they've got their nice new bus.
Good news.
Yep.
Councilor Lambert.
Nothing further to report.
Hey, Councilor Bang.
Nothing to report.
Great. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight,
I motion that the council reports be accepted as presented.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item 6.1, strategic plan update. CEO Barney.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. So this is really an update, a public update on council strategic plan that was adopted on May 17th, 2022, shortly after this council started their term. The document, the 2022-2026 strategic plan, is available online on our website, and it outlines 5 key priority areas for council, including sustainable community growth, town infrastructure, parks, recreation and beautification, social development and emergency services, as well as communications and public relations. So the items that are noted within the strategic plan sit today at approximately 62% completion overall. This aligns quite well with the term of council, as council is sitting at approximately 67% completion of their term. Today, I will highlight a couple of the notable items that have been completed or are in works under each of those different categories. I will say that that is not exhaustive of the entire list of what's inside the strategic plan, and is more intended just to provide a high-level update. So under sustainable community growth, I would note that the NRED grant that we just heard Norma Lang report on was secured. That was in efforts to support the advancement of economic development strategies for the community. There was the adoption of a filming policy, as well as securing season 1 of My Life with the Walter Boys, which I'm sure we're all aware of. In 2022, we saw the completion of a social needs assessment. There was also reference to a land inventory. We're working on completion of the vacant land inventory and land management strategy for council's review. And we're also working on updates to the municipal development plan and land use bylaw. The community will see more engagement on that over the summer months into early spring with the adoption process, early fall, sorry, with the adoption process for those changes coming forward in the fall of this year. Under town infrastructure, in 2023, there was the commissioning of the aeration system for our wastewater management, which resulted in shorter retention times in the aeration cells, and there was resulting in increase in the treatment capacity in that component of our wastewater treatment process. In 2023, we also saw the install of the pivot system, which allows us to use wastewater for the irrigation of agricultural land. You'll see that the wastewater feasibility study, which we saw not too long ago, will come forward with the final report to council on the 16th of July. We saw decommissioning of the water reservoir demolition and removal. The water meter updates project is about 95% complete. Council adopted an asset management policy in 2022. And administration is currently working on a review of the snow and ice control policy, which is anticipated to come forward before the end of this year. Parks, recreation, and beautification. In 2022, there was the Parks and Recreation Needs Assessments that were completed. Those are being used to inform future funding requests. The arena ice plant replacement was completed in 2023. The all facade replacement has been completed. We also implemented the annual roof, gutter, and siding inspections. There's a new columbarium that was installed in 2023, with also the relocation of a gazebo from town-owned property to the cemetery. And those are a few highlights there. There's additional ones in the report. Under social development and emergency services, council saw the updating of the fire level of service, which was adopted by council. The social needs assessment was completed. The total grant funding that's been secured at point of writing is just under $1 million, $935,427. We're currently participating in a regional policing review with a number of municipal partners looking at the future of policing in the community. Under communications and public relations, council completed their retreat again earlier this year. Citizens continue to receive a monthly newsletter that updates them on different events throughout the community. The budget survey was completed last year, and again, we just saw a recent completion of that, and would like to thank the community for their engagement as it relates to the budget survey. There is a development of our public engagement strategy and a revisit of our existing public engagement policy that's currently underway. We saw the approval of the ICF with Rocky View County. And we're currently working towards the implementation of eScribe, which is a meeting management system, and the renegotiation of fire services agreement with Rocky View County. So as I noted earlier, this is really intended to provide a bit of a high-level overview of some of the accomplishments and that have happened in council's term to date, as well as some of the pieces that are sitting on the radar that we're working on. It most definitely is not an exhaustive list. There are a lot of other pieces that are happening as well, but just in efforts to provide a bit of a highlight for the community. And I would recommend that council accept the report for information, and I'm happy to answer any questions council may have.
Excellent. Questions for CEO Bernie?
Not really through the chair. Not really a question. I just want to just say that it's really cool to see it all put together in one piece like this. It's neat to see where we came from and where we're going. That's it.
And to see all the check mark.
And just because it has a down arrow doesn't mean they're dead in the water. I think it means they're in progress. Yes, they're in progress. Really good. Thank you. CEO Barney, there's no questions. Can I get a motion?
Through
Sure.
the chair,
Councillor Fox.
make the motion that 2022-2026 strategic plan update be accepted as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 6.3, outstanding items list.
The rest.
Director Nash. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself again. Sorry. Department director update. Trying to get through the meeting, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Anytime you're ready.
All right, thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, council. So yes, I do have a couple updates here before you. I will start with the Community and Protective Services update. Touch on a few highlights. Unfortunately, we were not successful in obtaining the Family and Community Support Services Association of Alberta Food Security Grant. That's unfortunate, but that does happen. The FCSS department did see an increase in calls and emails during the month of June seeking access to supports. Nicole has been able to provide these residents with where and how to access the supports that they are in need of. Planning has started for the Community Fest, which will take place on September 10th, 2024. The Splash Park opened in time once again for Pete Night Days. We did have a few minor hiccups in the early weeks, which is normal following startup of the Splash Park, but now everything's working well and running along really well. We did complete the final landscaping and sodding of the McCaskill Park water dig, so that's all complete. The Western Drive Dog Park still on hold for the time being following completion of the wastewater feasibility study and receiving some direction on potential expansion of the lagoons. So as soon as we know what's going on there, we will move forward with some plans, which could be to upgrade the current location or potentially look at an alternate location. So we've been working on that. At the arena, some new benches were installed in the players' benches by the 4-H Multi Club. They once again donated some time and efforts to build some great additions to our rec facilities. So the group did a really great job and they look really good. With the fire department, they're continuing to progress through their training initiatives with some of the members recently writing their theory exam for the NFPA 1001 level 1 firefighter qualifications. So they will be moving through their practical testing in the months ahead here. And as of June 19th, the total calls that the fire department had attended to was 166 as of that date. In the municipal enforcement, as we mentioned earlier, we've got an industrial area cleanup initiative going on. It's underway right now. We've already had some immediate compliance and responses have been friendly with all of the businesses that have been approached and talked to, and Francisca has been making a point of going in and speaking with the businesses to kind of go over what they're seeing, what she's seeing, and what's kind of expected. So I think that's helping. Most common violation that is being noticed is typical unmaintained grass with weeds. There have been some unsightly premises with the accumulation of refuse such as discarded items and garbage. And then lastly, the bike rodeo was held on May 30th in conjunction with the I believe it was the elementary school council. They actually had a really good turnout. They had 60 kids and 25 parents attend to learn about bike safety and correct helmet usage and that sort of stuff. So that was really successful. So that's that one.
Great, never a dull moment.
No.
Questions for Director Nash?
Through the chair.
Counselor Gustafson, and then we'll go over to Counselor Fox.
Question for you, Russ, on the food security grant. Did they give us a reason, when they send back, hey, you didn't receive it, did they just go, you didn't receive it?
They never.
Or do we follow up? Can we follow up? Can we ask them why? It'd be nice to know maybe the next time, are we doing something that's can improve our success rate?
I will have to get back to you on that question. I did see the email that was sent to us, but I don't recall the details of the email. Typically, it's just more funding requests than they're able to fund, but I can get back to you on that one if that's okay with you.
But obviously they're picking someone over us, so
Yeah.
why are they, yeah, there's, only enough for 20 and there's 100 go in. Why do those 20 get picked and the other ones don't? Be nice to know, because we had some funding stuff with the Rockview Foundation. We followed up. Hey, why are we not getting this?
I'll check with Nicole and find out the details around that one.
Okay,
For you. Yeah.
Yeah, on that note, I know that there was a local food bank near us that did get funding for that particular grant, but it was for growing vegetables, like particularly tomatoes, all year round to support the food bank.
Right.
I think it was to the north of us, like maybe Old Sinusville, Penhold kind of area.
Could have been.
But anyway, I think it all depends on what the idea is, how innovative is it, how
Yeah.
how will it impact the community, so all those things. Counselor Fox?
Yes. It's more so a question. So it pertained to the bike rodeo. That was held during the day, right?
Correct.
Okay. I did get some feedback from some parents requesting that if they do another one, that they could do it in the evening or say on a Saturday. Because if they're at work, then their kids obviously can't participate. And then you might get some higher numbers.
Certainly, we can take that into consideration for
Yeah,
next ones.
Okay. That was all I had, Mayor Hertz.
Other questions?
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight?
Hey, Russ, on the 700 plates we served for the Friday breakfast of the rodeo, is that up about 100 plates or is that pretty close to the same or?
I believe it's up a little bit. I want to say last year was in that 650 to 675.
Yeah, I think the Saturday breakfast was up too, because I think they're on the plates too. So just as the community is growing, I might have to just think about always adding more plates for next year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's true. I don't have any questions, just a couple of comments. So I've noticed coming in on the 2A that there has been quite a bit of compliance on getting the grass trimmed and the weeds out of there, which is great. I think good job for Francesca going in and talking to them. I think that goes a long way. And secondly, I just wanted to extend a really big thank you on behalf of council for all the staff taking on the rodeo breakfast that we were not able to attend. So thanks for doing that. I heard it was great. And we appreciate you guys being there and doing that for the community.
Good. Thank you.
All right, anything else? Okay, can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Counselor Gustafson?
I will move that the department director update be presented.
I think it would have been more fun if Lindsay had been next, and then Russ went back to his chair and then had to come back. Right?
There you go.
At any rate, Director of Operations, Russ Nath.
Literally.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Yes, so next up is the operations monthly report. A few highlights. We did add gravel to Range Road 12, going north of Lot Avenue for about a 300-yard stretch, going up the hill. Try and address some of the issues there. From what I hear, so far it's doing okay. It's doing well, and I believe Range Road 12 has also opened the section that was closed between Lot Ave and Western Drive. So that's all dried up and been dealt with. Myself and operations foreman Murray Pollock met with our engineers to review some trouble spots that we have, a few spots around town for drainage. We are going to look at doing a survey of those areas to determine the grades so that solutions can be implemented or options can be put forward. These areas include the alleyways behind Nanton Avenue and Smith Avenue from Ross Street to Railway Street, as well as the entrance at Highway 2A and Lot Avenue. And then we have another spot up the end of McCaskill Drive at Veterans Park where we have a lot of pooling water. So we will we'll be looking at those. Excuse me. The aerial man lift has been received and training has been completed on that piece of equipment, so it's in use now. The transformation or the conversion of the truck, that truck is now back in our possession from Edmonton, so it's, I believe, pretty well ready to go now. In the wastewater area, we were able to get the irrigation pivot started up and in use for the farmland south of the effluent holding cell. So that helps us with some of our wastewater. And on June 5th, along with Mayor Harris, Water and Wastewater Foreman Joe Holstein was interviewed by the CBC to discuss our wastewater lagoon treatment system and the benefits of using the effluent wastewater for irrigation and fracking purposes. And overall, I think that went very well. We are also starting interviews for the water wastewater operator position. We're starting those this week. So hopefully we were able to get that position filled as well. And then lastly, the wastewater main replacement evaluation update. That evaluation was put on a short hold just due to the wet weather that we had, but the remaining video inspection should be completed here within the next week or two, or it may even be completed now by the time I'm speaking. So anyway, that will be completed here shortly as well. And following that, then we can move forward with wastewater main upgrades. So.
Great news. Questions for Director Nash? No questions, so good work on that.
Pretty straightforward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Director of Corporate Services, Lindsay Nash.
Evening, Council. For the month of June, the administrative staff dealt with 1,119 interactions with citizens for the month of June, which is down from 930 in May. Most of June of the interactions were for permits, taxes, payments and utilities, because of course it was utility due dates, and dog licenses and cemetery. Cemetery has been very busy. Water meters were down to 10 residential meters needing changing out. As stated before, starting in mid-June, any properties that have not booked in to have their meters changed out will receive a 48-hour notice to be shut off as per the bylaw. Bulk water, just an update kind of with the impact of the Calgary water restrictions. From the time the City of Calgary water restrictions were announced on June 6th, including through to the extension of the restrictions announced on June 15th, 4,878.37 cubic meters had been consumed or picked up, representing $21,952 in revenue for the town. When compared to the same time frame from 2023, there had been an increase of 1,581 cubic meters consumed, contributing to an increased dollar value of $7,116. The new accounts that were created due to the impact of the water restrictions was generally falls into the categories of landscaping companies, construction companies, farmers and individuals. So it wasn't a huge, big pull of water. Census, as of, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, we had 100% completion on our census, which is a big goal for the community. So thank you to everybody who participated. We're currently in the process of doing interviews for the customer service and administrative support representative position. And hopefully we'll have somebody with a letter of offer by the end of the week. So fingers crossed for that. Development stats, there were 5 new home construction permits for the month of June for a total of 33 new home construction permits for 2024. Our new inspection agency, IJD inspections, started July 2nd, along with the new permitting process where they process all the permitting through them. New home business listings or new business listings, there was a home occupation that was existing, but they added the addition of physiotherapy. And then there was another one for New Life Therapy Inc. And that's it.
Great, thank you.
So-
I just want to start by congratulating Lauren. She did a lot of hard work in getting that 100% participation from residents. That's not unheard of, but it's very rare that municipalities get 100%
Mhm.
compliance through census.
Yeah.
So good job to your team.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll let you know.
Questions for Director Nash?
Through the chair, I do have a question. How are we sitting at water meters now?
For new for
Yeah.
meter changeouts, there was 10 residents.
10.
So still from mid-June till now, there's still that 10 more
Oh,
that have to be done?
Yes, of course, I was off last week, so this information is a little
I know,
updated.
I'm just harassing you.
That was the information I was given by Lauren, so it could be
Okay,
probably
yeah.
down 8. I know she's been working on changing them out, and we've had a couple down, so hopefully I think we're down to about 6,
Yeah.
6. So fingers
Pretty
crossed we
good though.
can
You
get.
guys have been working on it for a while.
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
be nice
almost
once
there.
we all get done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Excellent. Well, good work.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, can I get a motion?
Through the chair, I'll just continue my motion from before.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay. 6.3 outstanding list. CEO Barney.
Through the chair, there's no adjustments to the outstanding action list as of today's meeting, following the last meeting. So just requesting it being accepted as presented.
Okay, any questions? No questions. Can I get a motion?
To the chair,
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion that the outstanding items list be accepted as presented.
All in favor?
Uh,
Motion carried. Okay, so we have no correspondence. Upcoming events and programs can be reviewed on the Town of Crossfield website. And now, if I can get a motion to go into camera.
I'll make, through the chair,
Councillor Brennan.
I'll make the motion to go into camera at 7:48.
Okay, all in favor? Motion carried, and Lindsay will just wait for your signal. Motion carried. Okay. So we're just out of camera at 8:06. Counselor Brennan,
Through the
you have the
chair.
floor.
Oh, sorry. I move that council direct administration to bring back additional information regarding the offer to purchase to a future council meeting for council's consideration.
Okay, all in favor?
Well,
Motion carried. And that's the end of the meeting. Council,
through the chair,
Council Knight, Deputy Mayor,
I motion that council adjourn the meeting at 8:07.
thank you.
There's no vote on that one.
There's a vote.